What's going on, guys? This is Jason of Auglitical. I swim through the politics so you don't drown too. I'm just a man trying to bring common sense in a world where common sense isn't so common. So, a lot of people are really upset at the government because we're finding out that the government, for quite some time, has had their hand in the cookie jar doing shit that the taxpayers have never asked for, never wanted. Not their own taxpayers in the United States, but people globally, forcing people stuff like drag queen and LGBT shows on foreign land, giving aid to groups of people that don't even respect or want us to even be the nation that we are, that want to destroy us. And so now they're getting caught, and you have a lot of people, in my personal opinion, and I believe this, the people who are being caught are upset because now other people are able to put a spotlight on the shadows and they are afraid. That's really what this boils down to. They were completely fine with having their secrets in the back where you couldn't see. And now that Elon Musk is being spearheading the efficiency department for the government spending, and he's doing what he was brought to do, these people are upset. So right now I am recording on my this is my fourth rig. I shit you not. This is my fourth rig device. It's a mobile device where I'm just going around seeing if I can record. I got a bunch of things set up. I don't know how well it sounds. Let me know in the comments how well it sounds, or if it doesn't sound good, I'll try to fix it. But I just want to experiment a little bit. Let's get into it. 241 million. Want my tax money back? Let's get it.
Transgender animal $1 million was spent for transgender animal testing.
Yes, and that's, I would say, is the floor, not the ceiling, because the information on federal databases is not, it was pretty incomplete.
So you think we're going to find out that it was much more money than that for
Yes.
transgender?
So I'm gonna just stop it right here and just say, so when that man says that is the floor, not the ceiling, for the people who are upset out there, this video is not for the reality benders. This is for my viewers, the ones who not so far radical going. Like, I don't like radicals. It's very rare for a radical to have a change for the better of something. In this case, this is more or less when they say the ceiling. I mean, when they say this is the floor, not the ceiling, and it's incomplete, this means that there's so much money going missing and that they were spending on whatever the hell that they wanted to spend it on. This has a lot of reason. This has a lot of reason for concern.
Animal testing.
Yes.
Can you describe what exactly the American people's taxpayer dollars were spent on regarding transgender animal testing?
Yeah, in a lot of these cases, they're involve mice, rats, monkeys who are being surgically mutilated and subjected to hormone therapies to mimic female to male or male to female gender transitions, gender affirming hormone therapies, and then looking at the biological, psychological, and physiological effects of the gender transitions, looking at the effects of taking vaccines after you've transitioned these animals from male to female or female to male, looking at the size of their genitals changing after you've put them on estrogen or testosterone therapies to transition.
Look at that. Even a dog is fucking uncomfortable hearing this. So for the people out there that want to be left alone, that probably don't care about humanity, yes, I'm talking to you guys because I know that you guys exist. You guys are fucking freaks and weirdos. But this should bother you because a lot of you guys, your only friends tend to be animals. All you women out there that become cat ladies because you played and you kept rolling the dice instead of actually playing the game for better results over and over, and now you're a cat lady at the age of 55 or something like that, and the only thing you care about is cats. Just imagine what type of person you would have to be even worse than you. And what I mean by even worse than you is the way that you ended up. Imagine if somebody took the animal that you care about and started to just do all of these experiments trying to, again, I'm not religious, but I'm just going to say it, play God. Who asked for this? No one asked for this. You have our people dying on the streets, veterans. You have New York, New York. You have United States citizens living on the street, not because they're mentally ill, which that's a whole nother video. That's all we could talk about that in a completely different video. But you have people who are homeless, right? Who are just unlucky. Many of us live paycheck to paycheck. Meanwhile, they're spending 241 million. They're spending 3 million on LGBT shows in places like Ireland and Colombia. Meanwhile, you got people in North Carolina still sleeping in tents after losing everything. But if we write you a $500 check, which is a loan that you got to pay back, or they take everything after they take away your houses, or the people over up in Maui, or the people over in California after those fires, they're not helping our people, but they're spending all of this money on shit that no one asked for. You think that the people in Ireland, I don't know exactly the whole subject about Ireland. I know that there was a city that had like 231, the population of their town was like 231 people. So a small knit community. They brought 250 something Africans into Ireland. Do you know how crazy that shit sounds? Now, was that our government that do that? No, but this is the governments of the world screwing the people over.
Them. And in the case that the chairwoman, the example the chairwoman gave, there was a $1.1 million grant to give female lab rats testosterone to mimic transgender male humans and then overdose them with this party drug to see if animals who were taking female animals taking testosterone were more likely to overdose on this sex party drug than animals who are not taking testosterone.
Mr. Goodman, are many of these taxpayer-funded animal studies shared with the public, or is there a significant oversight of this research?
You essentially needed a degree in information technology to navigate the federal spending databases to find any of this stuff.
So what you found is we're not being very transparent with what we're spending these funds on.
Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. The people who are upset at the people finding out what our money is being spent on are people who truly do not have our best interests at heart. What was that saying from the Epoch? They're not there to tell you what's happening in the world. They're there to tell you where their part in the world is. I forgot exactly what the saying is, but basically, they don't care about what's really happening in the world. They care about telling you their version of what the world is. And this is what they're going to try to do. This is what they're going to continue to try to force. And people don't want this type of stuff. Now, I didn't know anything about this, but I actually just really quick, just Google it, right? So I just Googled it to make sure that a lot of these things were true or not, just to, dip my toes in it to verify some stuff, do a little bit of due diligence. And I was reading on this site, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you this site. I'm reading in this site says, are they funding money in places where X, Y, and Z? Is this true? No. And I go, wait a second, hold up. I'm reading this article. I read the headline. I'm reading this article, and I immediately stopped. Right. Then I scrolled right down to the comments because I'm like, yo, this is bullshit. Anybody else seeing this bullshit? And I'm looking at it, and I saw this thing, and it's called Pink News, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this must be a pro-feminist kind of thing. Opinion discarded. But I said, let me go look at the comments. And all the comments, they're even saying, yo, this is full of shit. There are a little bit of comments that they have. And I said, okay, well, let's see what the stories that they cover. The stories that they cover is, well, flaming stuff. I don't need to say the entire word. You know what I mean if you grew up in the age that I grew up in. They're flaming blank, blank, blanks. And then I say to myself, well, now it makes sense as to why they will sit there and reality bend is because it serves their best interest, not yours, not the people, not the average American, not even the average human. This serves the reality benders' best interest, their self interest, while they push their propaganda onto the masses. And then I looked into it a little bit more. The founders, two flaming over there sexually assaulting people. Is it true? Is it not? Personally, I don't really care. I could care less if it was true or not because everyone gets their hands a little bit dirty playing the game. But you two are married, if this is true or not. But if we're going to play the lefties' playbook, you're guilty before proven innocent. Even then, you're still guilty. That's how the left plays, and that's the way that we need to play. The way that we need to play from now on, and it say don't fight fire with fire. No, you can fight fire with fire. Some fires can smother and kill other fires. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know you can actually suffocate a fire with another fire? Some crazy stuff is going on, some crazy developments. These people, for the last couple of years, when it came down to COVID, when it came down to these natural disasters, sat there and told you, we don't have money to fund this. When you see that your kid can't get programs in their school to keep them off of the streets away from the gangbangers and the drug dealers, when you see that they're defunding the police officers all over this great nation, when you see that you have people who can't even take care of their parents because they don't even make enough, they can't even take care, they can't own homes, they don't have no property to their names, they can't get on their feet. When you see all of this, we can't pay for a wall, we can't pay for better security, we can't pay for a better way of living. When you see all of this and you just see the money that these guys are throwing every which way that serves their self interest or their radical views of the world, yeah, you should fight fire with fire because these people, if they had the chance and they were doing it, if they had the opportunity, they will sit there, strip you away of your ability to take care of you and yours, take you away from your loved ones, make you suffer and smile about it. So you should want these people to suffer just the same. Never again. Anyway, guys, before we wrap this up, just wanted to let you know you can check me out over on Twitter, the Inquisitor X. I'll leave a link somewhere. Maybe I'm a little bit lazy, but if you guys remember, I had an account that I made. I made it in less than 3 days. It was brute force hack, meaning some shit stain somehow managed to hack the account. Wasn't through the password of my email. The person just managed to do it, change the email. I didn't even get an alert. By the time that I got an alert, the email was changed, the password was changed in less than a minute. Didn't even have a chance to stop it. But somebody over on Twitter, not gonna say nothing about it, but they just basically said here, after basically sitting there and trying to get my account for the last 2 weeks and hearing nothing, somebody came through and was like, you ain't hear from me but here. So now the account is back in my possession. Let's rock it out. Anyway, guys, I'm Jason of Auglitical. I swim through the politics so you don't drown too. I'm just a man trying to bring common sense in a world where common sense isn't so common. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.